Cool. So this is 5 things I've learned from entrepreneurship as someone who basically just said no to uni. For any context, basically, I just finished my A-levels almost a year ago now. And me and my boy back there, we run Airbnbs in London. And when I was during my exams, I was being pushed to go to uni. But to be honest, from a good 3 years ago, I knew that wasn't the move. Always wanted to do something entrepreneurial. So cool. So number 1, and this is that obviously everyone thinks entrepreneurial, starting a business, this is the massive risk, the big risk that you have to take to be successful. But genuinely, and I genuinely mean this, like this is nowhere near as risky as you actually think, as long as you're willing to put in the hard work. And this actually came to me, it sort of hit me when I met up with a very, very old friend, someone I went to primary school with, and he's starting his own sort of software, right? And apparently he was talking to some of the other boys in my old school, and he was like, oh, I just don't know how you took that risk. Like, it's crazy. You were the only person to take that risk. And it kind of hit me because genuinely, obviously, I do this every single day. So it makes sense why I'm not always like anxious about this risk and whatever. But it kind of hit me as like, is this a risk? And obviously on like face value, and sometimes I do think about it, it's like, yeah, damn, this is like only up to me. Obviously got my boy in the back here as well, it's up to us. And if, we don't perform, everything goes down. Yes, that is that little overwhelming doom that if we just stop, cool. But especially in like today's game, you could go to uni, right? And you could be sort of ushered into this little like, the real world, sort of just extending your sixth form or college, whatever you want to call it, right? But you still get to that point where then, okay, that hits you, and now we're back in the real world, people. We have to get jobs, you want to get promotions, you want to then, level up in life, and then your whole family then is counting on you. But right now, this isn't risky. Like, I started with nothing. If I leave tomorrow, I have nothing, or I might have a couple extra, bit of a thicker wallet, right? But I don't lose anything. And the other thing as well, like especially with uni, I'm kind of passionate about this now because the amount of times people tried to push me into uni. But Brad will say it with his, mates that come back to London, no one can get a job these days. And especially with like AI, like I love AI, Claude has my heart. But with all of this AI and like job scarcity, like I genuinely think it is more of a risk being an average Joe going through the system and thinking you're either entitled to, or just because you went to uni and got a degree, you're gonna get a high paying job. It just doesn't work like that. I hate to burst your bubble. It just doesn't. So when you're actually deeping it, like in 3 years, you're going to be wondering, what is the safer route? Is it starting something up on your own, using all of the tools like Claude, like AI, like, even just the internet, they didn't have this back then, right? To then leverage into some sort of money-making activities, which isn't actually that hard if you think about it. Or is it, going through the system with hundreds of thousands of people? Now, you ever see that meme where it's like Buzz Lightyear turns the corner and then he just sees like hundreds of Buzz Lightyears? Like, that is you. And I don't know, I cannot confidently say that is less risky than starting a business and actually hustling. Now, number 2, I feel very strongly about this, especially my boy behind the camera. But is if you try to play Mr. Friend and Family, Mr. Happy Family Man, you will not succeed. And I don't mean that incredibly literally, like cut everyone out, never talk to anyone, go into a cave and think. But you have to be so incredibly selfish with your time. And I don't just mean like, 5 days a week and you can go take all the weekends off and spend them with your family. No, I genuinely mean every single day. And as someone who lives at home and obviously with my parents and stuff like that, the amount of times they ask me to watch a movie, come out, have dinner, come out and do X, Y, and Z, which would be great. But you physically cannot do that when you're trying to build something. And the only people I've seen who try to play that double agent sort of role can't keep up both. And they almost, it's like they build up resentment for their family because, something's not working, you take up all my time. or they just start letting that business go. And obviously that shows massively with the amount of time you're putting in. It is just not possible. You have to be selfish. Now, number 3, this is a massive one. Brad, I know he thinks this as well as myself, but if you're not a numbers guy, you weren't a mathy little arithmetic kid in school, good, neither was I, but you are now. I got the stat here, but it's 9 out of 10 businesses fail within the first year because of cash flow problems. And another 9 out of 10 businesses fail within the next 5 years for the exact same reason. And the only like fathomable reason to why this happens is because you are simply not doing your numbers. You haven't kept on top of your books, your accounts, what your financial situation looks like, what your financial forecast is going to be like. This shit, like everyone thinks, oh, let's leave this to the bankers or the geeks. Like, trust me, I got like a U in my A-level maths, but now we got things like Claude and like spreadsheets, and they can do all for you. You just have to put in the time. And the worst thing that you can possibly do is push that to the back of your head, because I know I'm gonna call some people out here, and it was the exact same thing with me, definitely Brad as well, is that you don't wanna do the accounts or you put it off. A, it might be hard and you have to use your brain for once, but 2, you probably don't actually wanna find out what the reality of your situation is, because most, like 9 times out of 10, it's not gonna be 10, 15, 20K months. It's gonna be, oh wait, shit, we might be losing, or okay, our overheads are gonna get more expensive than they are. And the only person that hurts is yourself, because you have to do it at some point. Like, you can wait till the end of the year till you have to get an accountant, do your whole like financial submission to HMRC, and then the accountant will tell you then. Or you could genuinely nail it now. Like, every single business or venture or anything that we do, the finances come first. And that does sound like a massively geeky thing, but you'll be surprised how many people don't do it. And I promise you, it is like literally the route to death. It's like death by a million cuts as well, because if you don't do it, you start questioning, oh, where's the money going? Motherfucker, go do your spreadsheets, go find out. Number 4, now this is a massive one, and to be honest, it's kind of weird how many times I have to keep reminding myself about this, because I keep preaching it, but even myself, I need to more practice what I preach. But just because you don't go to uni, or you sort of go down that route of the anti-academics, oh, I never did well in school, but I'm gonna do well in business, or whatever it is, does not mean you should be anti-learning. Every single little like bit of success or bit of momentum that we achieved in the business, whether it was Airbnb, AI sort of stuff, outreach, sourcing deals, anything has always come from a standpoint of, we're going to learn a skill first and then implement it. And it is so ridiculous how successful this is. And my example that I always use, and this is when I was stubborn and had an ego when I was starting, because everyone has a bit of an ego. No one likes to think they're shit. But I was trying to source a deal for about 6 months, and I was going on to like OpenRent, Spare Room, all of those different sites, right? Trying to like just cold calling landlords. And for the life of me, I could not understand why I was not closing a deal. Obviously, I started looking massively into my sales and all of that. But then just something randomly occurred to me that LinkedIn would be a very good source of like outreach in terms of like personal branding within that like little realm. Obviously, Instagram, I'll be honest, like everyone's had it. They're too scared to post it because I was still in school, and it's like, you don't want to get clowned on. Even if it's cold, you just don't want to get clowned on. Hey, everyone's been there, right? But with that LinkedIn, I took a mini course, and I'll be honest, it wasn't even a proper course. It was, I watched like 3 or 4 YouTube videos, and it was like the full course, free full course, whatever. And then I got on call with one of them like LinkedIn growth operators, and he just started giving me sauce. I thought he could sell me, but gotta play that game sometimes. And I swear to it, I started skyrocketing my LinkedIn, posting almost every day. And within 2 months, I got my first ever client, and he paid us 13K for a property deal. Like, genuinely, it all switched when I just learned a single skill. And then my other example as well was, I just really, this is very property related. I'm sorry for anyone that's not here for property, but there's something called a HMO, housing on multiple occupations. Damn. But I started really learning and understanding what the whole legal and regulation sort of situation was with that, which if anyone is in property, there's a lot to do. And already off that, then I could speak to investors and landlords about HMOs. And it's every single aspect within this business, especially Airbnb. Like, me and Brad really value our mentors and just literally absorb as much information, because it's kind of this logic as well. It's like, it's almost like, how do you have the audacity to think you, especially me at 19, I'm gonna figure it out or sort of think of a better solution than someone that's been doing it for 10 years or someone that's been doing it for 20, 30, and it's like a family thing, or they have multiple, executives in the team. You're not gonna find it out any quicker, any better, and it's all it's gonna do is just delay your route to success, which everyone wants to get here. Let's not kid ourselves. There's the whole thing like, oh, let's enjoy the journey. Enjoy the journey, but we're trying to get there as quick as possible, and you need to learn your skills. Simple as that. It doesn't get any more simple than that. Number 5, last but not least, especially when you're young, and I'm more talking to my 17, 18, 19-year-olds, stop worrying about the money so much. Start worrying about the skills. Now, it's such a cliche thing to hear, and even when people say it to me, it's jarring, I'm not gonna lie. But money does not matter. It's like a tool. It's something you do, you create, and you use it as a tool to level up, essentially, right? Get nicer things, get more knowledge, elevate your business, whatever it is. Right now, and it's this whole like Instagram, TikTok, Miami Forex traders, meme coin like bullshit that thinks you need a Ferrari at 21. That doesn't exist. The real hustlers, the people doing the business, scaling, that shit happens 25, 30. Accept it. So stop worrying about the money. And I've seen this with so many people where it's either a case of they're doing activities to just get quick injections of cash, as opposed to looking down the systems and the overarching issues to then develop the business. Or when they do get paid, because they want to fill that fantasy and show everyone else the exact same thing, that, oh, I'm rich, I'm like one of these traders where everyone's got these like rented cars, right? Then they just spend their money on bullshit. And then that money, which should be used to generate more money, is spent on some bullshit LARPing. Hey, each their own, but that ain't what I'm doing with my money. And I think I really realized this in November 2025, because me and Brad found ourselves in a hole. We had taken on a lot of properties. We basically went into dry season, didn't have our direct booking strategy like proper. So, we were losing money basically. And we've basically done the numbers, going back to do your bloody numbers. But we had done our numbers and we were probably in like a 10 to 15K deficit, and we had to make that money. And it wasn't a case of take on more properties and, get more cash flow. Obviously, there were exterior things like types of bookings we were getting, which we did do. But the main thing we had to do to actually get out of that situation and maintain an equilibrium, that's a cool word. But it was to deal source. And if anyone doesn't know what we do, deal sourcing is literally just the act of finding a property deal and selling it to a property investor for a fee. And obviously, if you do know, that is how we started this business, because we started with no money. So we had to stack up like that. But if we had never learned that skill and dialed it in, we would be screwed. But more importantly, we would be absolutely shitting it. We would be shaking in our boots, because without those skills that give you the confidence, then, okay, I need to come up with 10K in this week. Can I do it? Well, me and Brad could confidently sit here and say, if we ramped it up and dedicate ourselves to deal sourcing, we could near enough hit that. Obviously, some element of luck, some sort of alignment has to happen with that, but we have that skill to be able to produce that sort of money. But if you were just, depending on other people or passive income, you don't have that ability to turn it up. Or again, and this is just maybe a little honorable mention, but it's like having that skill which gives you that confidence. And everything in business is confidence. You kind of got to wear the pants here, because especially if you're 19, 19, the amount of people that kind of underestimate us. How many people have just kind of underestimated us in terms of not thought we were that serious? Sorry, I don't know if everyone can see. Can everyone see Brad back there? I don't even think they can actually pick it up. But I know what Brad's gonna say, and is quite literally the fact of everyone else relies on their properties. And I'm more talking in our general property circle, but a lot of people will be relying on, either loans, you know, not even investor money, because that is kind of deal sourcing, but, you know, taking on more properties and trying to build up cash flow. But you need to be able to switch it on. Simple as. And the only way you do that, learning skills, stop worrying about the money. The money will come. Trust me. Without the skills, no money. Cool, well that's the 5 things I've learned. I probably do got a couple more. If you want to see another one or more videos where we're just sort of sitting here chit-chatting, comment below, subscribe, like, you'll get more videos. Take care.